I'm gonna go ahead and flip over to 11. Good.
Yeah.
The New York Giants. This is another position where people think somebody's going to trade. They're going to look to trade back. They feel like this part of the draft is where you kind of, can get some trade bait from people if they like a certain person. Jalen Waddle, it was projected on a lot. I don't remember the exact number, but it was a lot of the 8 was going for the New York Giants. So no, you don't understand. And so Waddle's only downside to the other 2 receivers was his size, 5'9" and a quarter. Which you know a little bit about that 5'9" and a quarter, don't you?
No, I don't. still a little tall for me.
But you know about the 180. You know about the 180. So
no, I'm still a little heavier than that too.
Aren't we all, brother? But I mean, Jalen Waddle's a great receiver. Obviously, got hurt a little bit. Truth be told, he was the number 1 receiver in the Alabama offense early in the season, and then when he got hurt, Devonta Smith kind of took over, ended up winning a Heisman. So for the Giants, I hate to say it, Daniel Jones needs weapons. Evan Ingram is great and all, but he's only able to do so much.
Sterling Shepard's only able to do so much.
Exactly. So they did go get Kenny Golladay. So if they were to add Jalen Waddle, you would really feel like, all right, Daniel Jones, you have to prove it now, right? You got the tight end, you got the number 1 receiver in Kenny Golladay. Now you got a slot receiver in Jalen Waddle. You got Sterling Shepard.
I'd say Shepard's a 3, maybe.
Yeah, probably a 3. I mean, so you'd have to kind of go prove it. So we'll see. So. Hometown guy?
Yeah.
So the number 12 pick, we talked about it earlier. The exact way it went was San Fran had 12, moved to 3. Miami moved back to 12 on that flop, and then Miami and the Eagles switched again at 6 and 12. So hometown guy, baby. J.C. Horn is
good to see it.
Yeah.
Going to Philly, allegedly.
205 seems a little generous for J.C.
So?
Yeah. JC seems a little,
you think
little skinnier than that.
Like 195, you thinking?
Probably, like maybe 190. Yeah.
I don't think he was that thin. I give him like 195.
Almost 6'1", 210. 205, whatever. That's not the JC Horn I know. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I think he's 6'1", but I think he was more 195. 2 pushing it. Two of after had been sweating a little bit. And
yeah, I agree with you guys. I mean, the 6 foot has always been him. I mean, they had him. I mean, Lord forbid, when he was coming out of high school, they had him listed as 6'2". So just always love your high school numbers. But yeah,
as long as he doesn't carry his mouth into the NFL, I think he'll be good.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's got some swagger. He's got
really a personality on him.
Yeah, people really think that he can, not to compare South Carolina guys, but can really be that Stephon Gilmore or the Patrick Peterson, the Darrelle Revis.
That's big. You talking about Revis Island?
I'm not kidding you. That's what people really think J.C. Horn could be, is just a absolute one-on-one nightmare for number 1 receivers.
Man,
he doesn't.
He was like that here at South Carolina last year.
Yeah, I mean, his numbers back it in college. So the 205, I agree with you. I mean, I don't think he's 205.
But to say you're gonna put him at
what
the
was it, the 3rd or 4th game of the
Island.
season? I forget who he played.
Ole Miss.
Auburn. He actually shut down like Auburn's number 1 guy. Like he only like 3 targets or something like that.
Yeah, and he had 2 or 3 picks in the game. So
yeah,
he didn't college stat wise. Like if you just look up, hey, how many interceptions did you have? How many tackles did you have? Like those don't carry real great for him. I mean, he didn't have a whole lot of interceptions, but if you look at the amount of times he actually got thrown at in college, I mean, it was less than 4 times a game, no matter who he was matching up with, even in Alabama.
Offenses, they literally avoided the dude.
Yeah, that was the same thing. Was it Jalen Ramsey last year?
And you don't have to be a pick 6 kind of guy, constant interception kind of guy. If you make an offense constantly avoid one person, that's good enough for the NFL.
Oh,
Heck yeah.
Or same thing.
I'm gonna throw you on the number 1 receiver every time, and if they avoid him, hell, we took that dude out of the game.
Exactly. Or if you're a defensive lineman and you say you played left end, you're like, nah, I'm not running it to the left side of my line. All right.
Yeah.
I just cut out half. Yeah, like you said, I cut out half the field.
Yeah.
Because of one guy. Yeah. That's a pretty solid stat line.
Yeah. So from us personally, Eagles fans, you should be excited about this pick. I think it would be a great pick for you. Your defense definitely needs it. So this is where we were talking earlier of Penny Sewell.
This was the other guy. This would be another guy I would like to see Dallas take. Yes.
Yeah. So this is another strong left tackle, and Christian, not quite sure how to say
Christian Darrisaw.
Darrisaw, thank you. All right,
from Virginia Tech, 13th pick to the Chargers.
Yeah, so 6'4", 3 3/4, 322.
Almost the same weight, almost 2 inches shorter than Penny, though.
Yeah. So certainly a guy that is another great offensive line. There are some good offensive linemen in this draft that are going to fall possibly because of the need at quarterback, wide receiver, cornerback. Like you know, most of the guys that everybody except for the offensive linemen we've shown so far.
Christian here is also another left tackle, right?
Yeah, he is another.
Yeah,
left
so
tackle.
you also kind of see that trend too of left tackles going early because that's an important part of the line for the quarterback.
But I feel like a lot of your tackles. I mean, I understand it's not quite the same, but I think you could switch to a white tackle position.
Some are a little more run blocking than they are pass blocking skills, and they're kind of usually the run blockers are a little bit heftier, a little bit larger, and so in the NFL, a lot of times it is a very scheme based where you will have a pass blocker on the left side and a run blocker on the right side in the NFL more than it is in college. But the only thing that I took a lot of note out of this was, or that kind of sparked me was, when you think back to the Penei Sewell pick at 5. A team that took a high-end quarterback last year, early pick was a quarterback, their quarterback of the future. Same team in the following years are now trying to take left tackles, and it's the kind of the right way to build your team, I think, in my opinion. But
I guess that's the next most important part of your offense. I would say is your left tackle outside of the quarterback. Right?
Yeah.
So,
if you got a right-handed quarterback, yes. Yeah.
14th overall, Vikings. Not a lot of consistency in this. This guy's name popped up probably 3 times out of the 8. Defensive end from Michigan, 6'2 1/4, 261.
This would be the first defensive end of the draft.
The first defensive end of the draft. There's not a lot of great defensive ends in this draft. That's kind of what I've noticed.
I've noticed that it seems like the defensive end aspect is not as strong this year as it has been in the previous.
There's not an elite level pass rusher. There's not a Joey Bosa or Nick Bosa. There's not a Jadeveon Clowney or Myles Garrett or anything like that. So the Vikings need help on defense in general. So you just pick a defensive position and go back, and they need it. So this is who the Vikings are apparently interested in, and this seems to stay consistent even over the last couple hours as things have changed a little bit. But no idea how to say this guy's first name.
I would say Kwity
Paye.
Kwity Paye.
Yeah, Kwity Paye. So he is regarded
as spelled Kwity for anybody that's listening and not watching.
Yeah, and he is regarded as the best pass rusher of the defensive end. Yeah, of the defensive end. So
I don't know too much anything about him.
Not of the best pass rusher in general. That's actually the kid from Tulsa Collins, but this one is regarded as the best defensive end. So 15, if the Patriots actually stay at 15, I would probably say there's like a likely chance that they don't stay at 15, whether they move forward or backwards. Bill Belichick and the Patriots are not known for moving up in the draft.
No.
But they also haven't had Tom Brady for the last
20 years.
So,
but Tom Brady 2.0 coming at you right here with the 15th pick.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think this is Tom Brady?
I went back and watched some tape of this guy.
All right.
I mean, he was what, 28-0 in his senior year?
So what we're saying is what we're saying for people that are listening. This is Trey Lance, the quarterback from North Dakota State. He's 6'4". Wow. Give that boy that last eighth of an inch. Damn.
They put his hand down
225. He's tall, not overweight at all. He's got some agility. From what I could see, this boy could drop a ball in a bucket, like
from 60 yards.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got.
I think this dude was throwing Danny Dimes right here is what I'm gonna call him. It's not gonna be Danny Dimes up in New York. It's gonna be Danny Dimes back in Foxborough.
Okay.
So I did see a meme though today, and it was like Trey Lance looks like an actor that's playing Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
in a movie about Alex Smith.
Yeah.
I was like. He looks like the off-brand.
Granted, it's D2 football. Granted, it's not called anymore, but I'm old school.
Actually,
it
is actually. It's FCS.
Yeah, it's FCS. Yeah,
they are.
So I mean,
I thought they were D2 for a second.
But North Dakota State's put out decent players. They have shown themselves to be an actual talent producer. I think this kid's legit. I think Trey Lance is the real deal.
How do you feel about Trey Lance? Or do you know enough to even have an opinion?
I think it's going to be one of the same things where Tom Brady was not a super talented kid when he got to New England, but the situation he was thrown into and the environment he was thrown into
is going to make
evolved him into that. And I think they're going to do the same thing with Trey Lance.
So I think he has like the same hype coming out as Carson Wentz.
Okay.
As I stated earlier. So I think people are excited to see this kid and see what he can do. And just solely based off his senior year of going 28, like he threw 28 touchdowns with 0 interceptions last year.
Yeah, it wasn't last year; it was the year before.
Well,
but yeah,
his final season.
He actually did play a game this year and didn't look real well. He threw 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, but that was just kind of like one made up game so that they had something on him.
Yeah,
basically. I mean, North Dakota State literally played that game for him in the fall, and then now they're playing in the spring with the rest of the FCS crew. But
I mean, just think about like the emotions going through his mind right now. Yeah, you went to arguably the best Division II FCS school in there for like the past 15 years, but to be talked about being drafted 15th overall to the Patriots.
Do you know his backstory coming out of high school though?
No, not his full backstory.
All right, here's what I'll do. So how many Power 5 schools do you think offered this man a scholarship?
2.
I'm gonna say 0.
1. Minnesota offered him a scholarship to play safety.
And he wanted to play quarterback.
He wanted to play quarterback, and he walked on at North Dakota State and won that job after Carson Wentz left.
Well, that's kind of like what who did that at Alabama? The kid was recruited to play something else, but he's like, "No, I want to play this position."
Najee Harris.
Nick Saban was like, "I'll let you play running back."
Yeah, it's a little different.
But
this kid had 2 stars.
It's obviously worked out for this kid, though. You know what I'm saying?
It's worked out for both.
He stuck to his guns, and it worked out for him.
So,
but I guess what Najee Harris like a track star as well.
No, Najee Harris was a middle linebacker and a running back, and he was a 5-star athlete. He was actually titled an athlete coming out of high school. And a lot of people wanted him to play middle linebacker, including Dabo Swinney at Clemson, and said, you're going to play linebacker at the next level. You're not going to play running back. And he told Nick, he was like, I want to play running back. Nick's like, come on, baby.
Yeah.
Wait, so then
I think I can do that.
So it wasn't him that was the track star. It was the one that's at the Colts. Nyheim Hines.
Najee, yeah.
But he went to NC State. I think he was the track star is who I'm thinking of.
You're right. But if I'm giving my personal thing, obviously our mock draft says that the Patriots are picking him at 15. I actually feel like Bill Belichick actually really kind of likes Trey Lance. I think Bill Belichick is thinking, all right, I know
this is Bill Belichick's Jimmy Garoppolo 2.0.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
Too. Because I think he knows, all right, we know who's going 1, 2, and we know who's going 1 and 2. If San Fran doesn't take Trey Lance at 2, I think the Patriots will move up into 7, 8, or 9, somewhere along that stretch that we talked about.
And try to secure it
and try and get Trey Lance.
Yeah, try to go up and steal him.
Yeah, I do. I actually.
It's also we've seen this in the past few years. We've talked about it, and I'm just going to say it. We're going to move on because it's a whole other topic we can get into. It's also if Robert Kraft agrees with that because we've seen that there's been big arguments in that. Yeah. But anyways, we're going to move on to the 16th overall pick because that's a conversation we could have gotten into for 40 minutes.
Yeah. Patriots fans will talk to us about it personally.
Yes.
But 16 overall, the Arizona Cardinals. A lot of different names at this pick. This was somebody that came up 3 times, regarded as the best interior offensive lineman in the draft at guard. No idea how to say this kid's name. I'm
Aaliyah Vera Tucker.
Okay. All right. Out of Southern California, the not real USC.
Aaliyah or Elijah?
Oh, Elijah. That's probably Elijah.
It could be Aaliyah though.
I could have sworn when it was coming like NFL Combine Day, that's what I thought I remember them saying.
Okay.
I'm
going to say Aaliyah because I think Elijah would have the H in a different spot. Okay. But anyways.
All right. 6'4.25", 6'4.5", sorry, and 308, regarded as the best interior offensive lineman.
See,
we get back to it. Young quarterback drafted just 2 years ago. He's already got DeAndre Hopkins. He's now got James Conner at running back along with Kenyon Drake. Where you need to fix? You need to fix
the offensive line. Especially now with a next level talent of running back like James Conner you just picked up. You've already had the talented QB that it's also agile as well. Yep. If you get a good offensive lineman for those 2 guys back there, you're opening up so many different avenues.
The other when Combine Day was coming up, they listed Slater as the number 1 guard.
Okay. Yeah.
So he was but he literally moved from center. It was like he was like the number 2 center, the number 1 guard, and like the number 2 3 tackle maybe. So I mean, they had him listed like he could literally play from center to tackle, whatever position that they really needed him at.
Yeah, and I mean, if somebody has played on those lines, I mean, this guy's got a tackle body. I mean, you add a little more weight to him, 6'4.5" is plenty big enough to play a tackle.
Yeah.
But
I mean, your guards are usually the shorter guy because interior, because the QB obviously needs to be able to try to see over them. Yeah. A little bit more agile because you'll have pulling guard plays, especially with the more agile offenses you're seeing, which Arizona is most likely going to start adopting more, having a scrambling quarterback and a talent like James Conner.
Yeah, they're already there.
They're going to adopt that a lot more. Yeah. I think it's going to be a good pick.
Yeah,
he won't have to adjust to uniform colors changing too much. You know what that red and yellow to yellow from Southern Cal to Arizona.
Yeah, not bad. So
I don't think he really cares about that. That was just my little random tidbit.
Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe his high school was red and gold too, and he's like, yes, maybe. So it's
James Conner did that, but he's a traitor.
He did. He stayed in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh High School, University of Pitt, and Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, but he wanted more money, baby.
I think Pittsburgh let him walk. They were like, no, you're good.
I think Pittsburgh did let him walk. So
but anyway, 17th pick overall.
Picks. So the Raiders now in Las Vegas and sit at 17. People don't think this guy this guy, I feel bad for him. Micah Parsons, middle linebacker, Penn State. Well regarded as the number 1 middle linebacker, well regarded as the best linebacker in the whole class. Huge dude at 6'3" and 1/8, 246.
So I was about to tell you, go back to the preview, go back to Aaliyah, whatever, and then go back to this dude. Mm-hmm. Yes, there's only about 60 pounds separating between him and an offensive guard.
Yes,
as a linebacker.
Yes, and
at 6'3", 250 as a linebacker. That's stout, and if his body fat is below 5%, that boy's built like a brick shit house. Then that is just a ton of damn muscle. Like, my God,
he is. I mean, I don't know his exact body mass index, but he is.
The first thing that stood out to me was when we brought this guy up was like 250. Like, God,
it's just between.
Like no, the fact that he's just 6'3", 250. That's a smaller frame to pack 250 on.
Oh yeah,
but look,
especially at a linebacker.
That's a good looking body.
He looks, I mean, I think this dude is
thick.
I think this dude just knows how to pick up heavy things and put them back down and then pick them back up again. I think that's just there's no fat on him. I think he's just pure muscle, man.
Yeah, I mean,
do we know what his 40 time is off the top of our head?
Yes, actually, it's 4.6 or 4.65.
All right, so you're talking about 250 running at you at 4.6 speed.
Yeah,
that's going to be a little bit of a hard hitting.
So if you were to actually look at the not the mock draft itself, but the actual like player rankings from 1 to whatever, Micah Parsons is actually in the top 5 of all the players. So,
okay, so like
just
overall best available. He's in the top 5.
He's actually he's a 4.36 40.
That's 250 moving at awfully damn quick, son.
Is that unofficial or official 40 yard?
That's gotta be official now after pro day and all this stuff. That's his official 40 time.
Yeah. Official sub 4.4 hauling. That that boy is getting it up.
Yeah. So Scout.
Well, that's a turbo diesel right there. That's what that is.
Yeah, Scout grade of 90. He's actually on ESPN
Picking him
now.
Up and put him down, son.
On ESPN now, he's number 16 as the overall player. But early on, he was a lot higher, and I think a lot of the quarterbacks have obviously moved up a little bit. But I don't think he falls this far. Like people have said that Denver would take him, Philadelphia would take him.
I can see Denver doing it because especially with Denver not really saying which way they're going to go. This could be a last minute thing. Like, hey, let's go get us that linebacker.
Yeah, like this guy is clearly the best linebacker. I mean, arguably he's the best defensive player outside of.
I think he's going to be kind of like a I would say like T.J. Watt and Bud Dupree. Going to like he's technically a linebacker.
He's not an outside linebacker. He's a middle linebacker. So he's actually probably more like a Ray Lewis.
Honestly. Yeah, but they might start lining him on the edge of the line though, being that size. That's what I'm saying. At that size, they're probably going to start lining him up on the ends.
Or being that quick.
Well, I think what they're trying to do is they already have Khalil Mack, obviously, on the outside. I think they're trying to reassure that they have somebody
they could be beefing it up in the middle. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
that could really give you a run defense. So if you're the Raiders and this guy falls to you, do not be upset about it.
No,
this is a steal. Yeah. This is a clear steal to draft. So I don't think
anytime you can get 250 moving that quick playing linebacker, dude's going to have to be good.
Yeah, and
you don't have to have great tackling for him. You just hit him going forward. hit him doing 4.3 speed at 250. The kid's gonna go down.
Yeah, I mean, Reuben Foster is obviously somebody he's been compared to. There's a lot of different like solid middle linebackers that he's compared to. So this would be a certain steal for them. Another defensive end coming off. Miami has another pick. Miami has 2 first-round picks. Outside, Jacksonville has the most picks with 11 this year. Miami, I think, has the second most at like 7 or 8, but or maybe even 9 probably. But
damn, Jacksonville with a big lead on that.
Yeah, Jacksonville's got a pretty solid lead, and then again, $100 million in cap space, so they're going to get Trevor Lawrence and they're going to get somebody else. So, but Jaelan Phillips, the defensive end out of Miami, 6'5.5", 260. This guy's a combination pass rusher, solid defensive end. He and his teammate, which I can't exactly say the teammate's last name. Y'all will get to see him in a second, and y'all can explain it to me. But both really regarded as kind of 2 of the top 3 defensive ends outside of Paye, who we saw earlier. But Miami needs it. I mean, Miami needs a lot of things. But really, if they don't feel comfortable with an offensive line, I think getting Jaelan Phillips here would be kind of a steal for them to kind of beef up their defense a little bit. Who is actually a pretty good defense. I mean, they were rated pretty well last year as far as the NFL goes. But
he's only 2 inches taller than that linebacker and weighs the same. I'm
gonna look up his 40 time for you just so we can feel.
What's the Penn State linebacker's name? We just talked about him.
Micah Parsons. Okay. Yeah. No, you're not gonna forget that name. Micah Parsons is gonna be hella good for a long time. So
it's gonna be hell on wheels if he can keep it up.
Good Lord.
What are we looking for here, Chris? What's that we're trying to pull out?
I was trying to find the 40 time on Jaelan Phillips, but like I said, everything's adjusted a little bit. This is
it's just different.
This is a different one. So his was 4.57. So not terrible actually for
a defensive end. Yeah,
pretty quick. Actually, same grade rating at 90 as well. So only 3.5 sacks last year at Miami. But on to the 19th pick. And the Washington Redskins, if a quarterback falls to you, I'm sure they'll take it, but I don't think a quarterback will fall to them at 19.
Yeah.
Even if, God forbid, Justin Fields really does have that bad of day, I don't think he falls to 19. But next middle linebacker,
Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Yeah, from Notre Dame.
That was on the fly. Hopefully that was correct.
Hey, that sounds bad. It looks good. Sounds good.
I got closer than Chris would have gotten. I can promise you that.
100% chance. 100%. So sitting at 6'1.5", 221. How about the size difference between him and Micah Parsons?
Big difference. But this guy here, I feel like he's just a little bit more agile. He's
He got the same legs as the quarterback he's sacking in this photo.
Yeah.
So, all right, I guarantee you he did not want to sub 4.4. I could get.
We'll find it. We will find it.
You think Micah Parsons got those tree trunks that just move him at 4 speed?
No. Once you get 250 going,
yeah,
it's hard to stop.
Yeah.
When he did his 40 from the Penn State, had to get like their strength and conditioning guys that are like to catch him as he ran past.
He had rugby players at the end.
Yeah. bunch of rubber bands he had to run into, slowed him down.
The real difference between Jeremiah and Micah really is that
Jeremiah doesn't have it listed.
It doesn't have it listed.
But they have him as an overall grade of a 91, where they had Parkins as a 90.
Yeah,
Parsons, my bad.
Well, there's a little bit of flexibility in Jeremiah. He can play inside and outside. He can cover.
I was going to say, with his size and stuff like that, I feel like he's bouncing around. It just depends on the scheme and what's going on.
He is a little bit more of an athlete per se. So
yeah.
So I think that's kind of the difference between them. And I think, obviously, Washington needs all kinds of help, not on the defensive line, basically, and not. Well, actually, they need help outside defensive line. So if they were to get somebody like this,
they also need a team name. Like, we need a mascot there now.
Yeah, I really do. I really do kind of hate it. It's just maybe it's a personal thing.
If they keep it as the football team, that's just lazy.
It really is
lazy.
It really is.
Bring back the Senators, man. Bring back the Senators.
That's cool. Back. Yeah, I don't care what they are. They can be the Washington Bombers for all I care. I don't know.
Okay, Chris. You think getting rid of the Redskins to go into the Bombers is going to be okay in today's political climate?
No, probably not.
Okay.
Like I said, I couldn't really care less. But I want them to have a team name, obviously. 20th overall pick, Chicago Bears. The Bears need everything. They could use a quarterback. Maybe they move up, into 9. They really, you don't need a running back. you don't really need a wide receiver with Allen Robinson. You could use tight end, and then your defense is really great. So what they really do need is offensive line. And Tevin Jenkins has been a name that popped up on multiple ones. This guy is a absolute like he's a bulldozer basically.
So
this dude
is this the guy that
run blocks for Chuba Hubbard? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would say
that's Chuba in the back, and that's his guy that he's following every single play at Oklahoma State. I mean, that's
a big boy, dude.
He is a big boy. 6'6.5", 320. I mean, this dude is everything you want in a run blocker. Chicago, obviously, Matt Nagy's scheme.
He's just plowing holes in defensive lines. That's just
yeah. And Matt
be a good pickup for Chicago. I mean, like you said, they definitely need help all across the board, but you can't ever go wrong with picking up a solid offensive lineman when you don't have a solid offensive line.
Yeah. And I mean, they feel really comfortable, in their run game. Matt Nagy is a guy that likes to run the football a lot from an offensive standpoint. Chicago fans, I'm sorry that he's taken over the play calling again. I don't know why he hires an offensive coordinator if he's just going to do it all himself. So, but for you as a Bears fan, you probably should be excited about this. I think this would be a really good pick for you guys. Unless you move up to go get quarterback. I mean, that's what Chicago fans obviously want, but it is what it is for you. So 21 Colts. I actually reached out to Jacob, a friend of ours. Not
shout out to you, Jacob.
Yeah. Jacob
Hunky that lives around the corner.
Huge Colts fan. Caleb Kelly, a friend of ours, also is a huge Colts fan, but Gregory
Rousseau.
Gregory Rousseau. That's what we're going for?
Yeah.
All right. Gregory Rousseau. This guy.
It's like Russo from Daredevil.
Yeah.
His arch rival.
He plays in the new show that's on Netflix, Shadow and Bone, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that.
So Sydney and I started watching it. Really good show.
Second Miami kid to go in the draft.
Second Miami defensive end. Like we said earlier, he's, him and Jalen are obviously regarded as two of the top 3 defensive ends. This guy coming into this year was actually regarded as a top 5 pick and was kind of like the next Myles Garrett, possibly. He sat out all year at Miami, so he didn't play this past football season.
You've seen is that hurt his draft stock?
It has.
Yeah, significantly.
A little bit.
But I mean, it's 6'6.5", 260 defensive end. I feel like that's gonna be a very agile kind of threat coming around the end at you.
I mean, the other guy was 6'5.5", 261.
Yeah.
He's 6'6.5",
270 basically. Yeah. I mean, he's not as good a pass rusher as
the other guy was
Pay from Michigan, or even Phillips, even from Miami. But he is certainly a star, kind of. He's kind of got that it about him.
I mean, hell, with that height, and I know that he's got the reach. Pass rushing, as long as he just even kind of like just pushes out and then just jumps up, gets a hand on it. I mean, he's going to be able to disrupt passing lanes just alone off of that.
Even on one plays, like he may not shed the block, but if you got a damn
arm on the guy.
Yeah. He's going to be able to reach out and grab him. Yeah.
And he's actually very versatile too. So for the Colts, they have typically played in a 4-3 defense. But he actually can fit into a 3-4. That body size, he can play either one of the ends in a 3-4. And then in a 3-4, he would make a great, larger scale defensive end that's probably going to be on the run side on that left side of that defensive line. So I think for the Colts, I asked Jacob, and Jacob said, dude, I love it. The Colts need defensive line. They've let a couple guys go this year. They've had some guys retire. They've had some age to them. So he felt from a Colts standpoint, obviously he'd love it at 21. So